What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me in my dreams. And when life gets challenging, I need a bank that's focused on what matters. Not to mention one that's been top-rated by Forbes in trust, customer service, financial advice, and more. That's why when it comes to meeting my banking needs, it's always NBT. Learn more at nbtbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome and thanks for tuning in. This is Tom Hickey from 2020 Media, and you are listening to NBT Bank's On the Scene podcast, reaching over 250,000, that's 250,000 readers of weha.com, West Hartford Magazine, and the Jewish Ledger, live 24/7, 365, wherever you get your podcasts. Before I jump into today's podcast, let me introduce my co-host, Bob Carr, and say hello.
Hi, Tom. Tom Hickey, along with myself, and Koshik Makati. And Ronnie Newton is a founder and partner at weha.com. Tom brings to West Hartford the Connecticut Jewish Ledger, West Hartford Magazine, which is West Hartford's original lifestyle magazine, along with the Taste of West Hartford. We just had one this past week, which was phenomenal. And the Best of West Hartford coming up this September. Tom, what's the date?
September 20th.
September 28th. Post-production and distribution of our podcast is managed by Exvadio Media, a division of the Modern Observer Group. Today, our guests are Edwin Thrower, board president of Capital Classics Theater Company, and Herb Emanuelson, past board president of Capital Classics Theater Company. Capital Classics puts on the Shakespeare Festival located at the University of St. Joseph in West Hartford, Connecticut. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi.
So today we're actually talking a little bit different. We're talking a little bit about board service. We've discussed this a little bit in the past. And what is one of the things that I'm on a couple of different boards. I'm on one nonprofit board here in Rhode Island where I live now. And there are barriers to entry, for younger people, for folks who have never really don't understand what board service means. And how have you guys been able to recruit folks to Capital Classics board?
I didn't know if Herb was going.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either. I'm happy to. Yeah, we have to like a game of tennis. That ball went right between the two of us.
Yeah. Do you want to take it, Herb?
Yeah, I can jump in.
Okay.
Sure. I think for both Edwin and myself, we started out with Capital Classics as fans. We were in the audience. We loved it. Went a couple of years in a row, and then reached out and started talking to some of the board members, and went from fan to volunteer to board member, and now they can't get rid of us. And I think that's how it works there's a number of our folks like that too, that started out either they were members of the Shakespeare Book Club that we do every month in association and collaboration with the West Hartford Public Library, the Noah Webster branch. And they've come in that door, and they've also come in just as fans of our productions.
Great.
And I think also the other thing is, like, what we look for in our board members is passion. They have to be passionate, not even necessarily about Shakespeare, but just about theatre, because without that passion, it's just another board. And, you can get resume builders, which don't really work out. You need people that are passionate about your mission and about your theatre.
Good point. And I noted, unless I'm wrong, you guys correct me if I am, that this is the 35th season, correct? So this has been going on.
Yeah.
This has been going on for a while now.
Yeah, started by Jeffrey and Laura Sheehan, two UConn graduates back in 1991. They started their family here in Connecticut and started this other child, the Capital Classics Theater Company, right here in Hartford, West Hartford.
I think 1991 sounds older than 35, don't you?
It does feel like
it's 1991. Yeah.
Generation
Exactly.
for the day.
Exactly.
And in fact, if your listeners want to know more about their story, we actually, a shameless plug here, myself and Kathleen Fisher, who are on the board, during COVID, we wrote a book called Love's Labour's Won, the Capital Classics, the First 30 Years. And it went up to like about 2022, 21, something like that. I can't remember, so long ago now. But it's done in the style of a play. and we interviewed like about 40 to 50 prior cast members and crew, and it's put together like a play, like, you know, enter Jeff, enter Laura, and we're the chorus, myself and Kathleen, and we sell that at our festival, and all profits from that book go to directly back into the production. But it's a phenomenal story. It's got 12 pages of color photos from past productions all the way back to 1991. So it's not just saying this myself, audience feedback. It's a really good read.
Yeah,
So,
fantastic. And
That's a great idea. I mean, that's
before,
a
before
tremendous
the
idea.
show, can they get it now, Edwin? Or
Yes.
we do have it available online. They can get it through our website. Yeah.
okay, great. And while we're at it, I wasn't going to ask yet, but what is the website and how do people reach you?
It's
Capital, yeah.
capitalclassics.org. Sorry, Herb was.
Yeah,
We're doing
jumping
it
right
in
in, yeah.
stereo. Capitalclassics.org.
Yeah. And you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram. Capital Classics is our name, and yeah, we're continuing to provide good content that's not just about our Shakespeare company, but about Shakespeare in general, about the arts, and about folks who are connected to our company.
So how do you guys decide, or who decides on what shows to put on? And now you're doing 2 shows a year, which is
Yes.
incredible. It's been a couple of years now you've done that.
Yeah.
And you know, this year's Measure for Measure and the Midsummer Night's Dream. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
Oh wow, man. Phew.
Yeah.
So how do those choices? Are they a board choice? Or are they a choice from the artistic folks? How do you guys get to that?
It's the artistic
folks.
team. Yeah, Jeffrey and Laura Sheehan, and you know, they'll reach out to some. We've got 2 directors who are returning this year, so it's kind of a collaborative discussion. What actors, you know, are we thinking about? What themes might be in the general zeitgeist? And Midsummer Night's Dream is always popular. Measure for Measure, lesser known comedy with a little bit of a darker theme of a politician who is not who he seems to be, and is a little bit of a quiet, let's just say a secret tyrant. And yeah, it's interesting how those 35 plays, but they are as timely today as they were 400 years ago.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, the themes of the Shakespeare uses are universal. Unfortunately, it's still universal in some cases, right?
Yeah,
you know,
indeed.
so within that, you know, is there an audience that's built in for you for Capital Classics? That's you know, every year they're looking forward to these plays, or are you continuing? Go ahead.
You know, I was just going to say, we have our regulars. I mean, I see plenty of regulars. We have our book club members that are local. They come, and you see very familiar faces. One of the things that's very heartening, though, is that we've seen our audience grow phenomenally, in fact, and it's new faces every year. New faces. It's wonderful to see people that just discover it. When we're at Celebrate West Hartford, we have families coming up saying, oh, we've just moved to the area, or we've lived here for years and we never knew about this. And we urge them to come. And I've seen so many people just through audience interaction. They've started new family traditions. They come as a family, they bring their kids, they bring their pets and their picnics, and they enjoy it. It's not just theater, it's an event, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got folks this is their annual reunion, who are friends or coworkers. They come back every year, and this is their, they mark it in their calendar every summer. We've also, after doing this for 35 years, we've now to a point where parents have taken their children, and now the children are taking their grandchildren to the show. Yeah, so it's pretty neat to see just the age range as well. Some of our best audience members are young people, are kids. If you're under 11, you can come for free. And, some of those young kids, they don't get caught up into, oh, Shakespeare, I have to know every word. They just know he's funny, she's mean, he's brave, and they're off and running.
Yeah.
I was bringing my daughter from the age of 2, like as a baby, she just sat there in the carry cot. And then as she got older, she would watch, and she was never restless or anything. And like I said to her, like, obviously even grown-ups can't understand the 400-year-old English. But as Herb said, I just told her it's a play. They are all dressed in nice, funny clothes, and they talk funny, and just enjoy it. And now she's now 22. Like last year, she came and thoroughly enjoyed King Lear. So it's great to see that theatre passed on to the families. That love and appreciation for the product.
Yeah, and as Edwin said, the snacks help too. Having a nice picnic dinner helps too.
And this year we also have, because people ask for vendors, and this year we've got Neves Catering doing a variety of food. We've got a charcuterie, which offers exactly what it says: charcuterie, meats and cheeses and so on.
And they're right in West Hartford and Blueback.
Yep.
Yep.
And we have Indulge as well. They do pastries, patisserie, donuts and so on, gourmet donuts. And they're going to be charcuterie, and Neves Catering will be at all 20 shows, pre-show and during and after. So when the hungry actors come out, they can have dinner. And Indulge will be there, some of the performances. So it as I say, people can bring their own picnic like they normally do, and if they forget a picnic and oh wow, I wish I'd have brought food, well, now we have food available. So they asked, we delivered.
Yeah.
Weha.com, West Hartford's best news source. Weha.com covers West Hartford and only West Hartford. Find us and subscribe to the Weha.com newsletter for free. Log on to we-ha.com. That's we-ha.com. We have it all in West Hartford.
That's fantastic. I think too, I was going to mention earlier, it's the whole package. I mean, the campus at University of St. Joe's is so beautiful. It's outdoors, it's under the stars,
Yeah. It's magical. Yeah. And if I could tie things back too, just in hearing Edwin talk about the food vendors are going to be there, and tying that back to board work, is that, Capital Classics, we're kind of a unique board. We do not have a paid staff. We do pay all of our actors and technicians. Everyone who is, you're seeing on stage or behind the scenes is getting paid. But this is a volunteer-run festival event, and it is in that it's unique. We are looking for board members who we talk about time, treasure, and talent. Treasure, obviously, we're looking for folks who want to support the work that we do, but time and talent. There's board meetings once a month, and talent. What do you bring that you want to bring to our board? We just picked up a new board member who's tremendous background in theater, but also she's an accountant. So she's talking with our treasurer about some of the way that we are balancing the budget, and which we have done for 35 years, I'm proud to say. And also, she's a stage manager, so she was helping us with our recent fundraiser. I'm a marketing guy, so I, work to manage the PR and social and marketing. And, Edwin has a long attendee and participant and speaker at a number of events, and so he understands how to run a show and how to run an event. It's really, it's amazing how these people, it's kind of that, let's put on a show back in the old Judy Garland, Mickey Rooney movies. And it's like we all join together and team up to make this thing happen. So we're looking for folks who have that passion and have that commitment and to be an ambassador for our company out to their friends and neighbors and coworkers and out in the community.
And how do you
and I think
do they reach out to you, Herb? Do you go to the website and send an email?
Go to the website, yeah. And we've gotten a lot of folks last few years where we just asked at the top of the show and said, if you enjoy what you're seeing, contact us, talk to us at intermission. We'd love to talk to you about what we do.
Interesting.
And we are very careful about, when we select board members to interview, we want to make sure we're not getting resume builders. We want people who are going to be active, who are going to donate as part of their board membership, but actively get involved, spend time doing things. Like for my part, I started off, I came to the show and was blown away. I started with The Tempest in 2009. I then helped usher Then Herb and Jeff approached me about being on the board, and I didn't even know about this. I said, sure, I'll do it. The next thing they said, oh, would you like to be run for board president? And I'm like, okay. I have been board president on and off. I haven't been board president for like 10 years. I've been on and off, right?
We waited a little bit before we asked.
Yeah, but
Usher the board president. That's a rags to riches story. That's your own rags to riches. Right? Usher to board
I remember
president.
Like 2016, we were doing Othello, and I think there'd been like some restructuring at USJ, so we didn't have USJ ushers, so we had to provide our own. So I was running around on my own, handing out playbills and trying to sort out pre-show entertainment. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And there was a couple of the book club members, and they came up to me and they were like saying, this is wonderful. Oh my God, we'd love to see this again. And I went, how would you like to see it every night? And there was one guy went, oh my God, I'd love that. I went, hand out some pamphlets every night and you can come as much as you want. And that's how the Volunteer Corps, now run by Kathleen Fisher, one of our board members, that's how the Volunteer Corps was born. And that's just grown under her direction. So people can join as volunteers. We do interview volunteers because we have to be careful, obviously, because they're representing Capital Classics. And for like board members, I've found over the years, we've had board members that, show up, then we've had others that get actively involved and boots on the ground, as I call it. And that's what we're looking for, really. And I think if you come to this, as I mentioned previously, you're passionate about theatre. Capital Classics' mission is to provide affordable theatre to the Greater Hartford area and to employ local actors and crew, directors, and so on and so forth, provide employment opportunities for them. And I think that is what it all boils down to. You have to be passionate about that mission, about providing live theatre outdoors, providing good quality Shakespeare at that. And once we have board members that are passionate about that, some are not Shakespeare scholars, you don't have to be, but they're passionate about what we do. And I think that's essential for any board member to have that quality.
Yeah, I agree, Edwin. And the other thing too, I mean, I've read that younger demographics are doing less board volunteering. And it's probably because it's taking two incomes to run a household, and everybody's involved with, coaching or bringing their kids from here, there, and everywhere, and working two jobs, multiple jobs. But I will say that, if you find the right board, one that, you can put your time, treasure, or talent to, maybe what you can do is I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to be an usher. Great. That's fantastic. You want to get a little more involved, that's terrific too. Donations are incredibly needed in this time, but there's many ways to get involved. And so don't feel like, gosh, I don't have $1 million, I can't join a board. If you've got that passion, join.
I want to speak.
And if you do have $1 million, you can definitely
still join, right?
You can definitely join. So that's capitalclassics.org. Yeah.
So one of the things that on the board that I'm on here, we're a journalism organization, so environmental journalism. However, we've gone out and on purpose recruiting younger people for the board, and it's been difficult because it is the time. There are things that older people have that younger people don't have, is time. Even if you're working, right?
Yep.
You can separate a professional. If you're a professional, you can carve out some time. Whereas if you're younger, you're building your career, you don't have that ability. To your points, though, that you can volunteer, you can show up in an evening, you can help out, you can create, you can go to Celebrate West Hartford and sit in the booth, maybe, right? There are other opportunities, and as time goes on, because as I think you heard mentioned it earlier, and Edwin mentioned it earlier, is that the population of folks who are the audience has exploded at Capital Classics.
Yes.
And so managing that expectation is that you have all these folks coming. Now you have to manage them. It's not 50 people anymore sitting out there. I think a couple times it's been well over 200.
Wow.
We had
oh, yeah.
450
Wow.
one night last year. There was audiences was in excess of 300, and then one Sunday night we had 450. And I never thought I could see an outdoor venue creak at the seams, but it was.
Yeah, we'll have over 4,000 people coming this year once again. So we've been over 4,000 for the past couple of years.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and I gotta say too, there's, why would I want to? I don't have $1 million. I'm 30 years old. Why would I want to join a board or volunteer? It's just there's a feeling that you get that you were part of something special. There's times I sit in the audience, in the back of the audience, and I just look at families and friends and loved ones and lovers and coworkers and buddies and parents, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Yeah. It was
And
it was at
we
the end
need
of
that nowadays. We need that
well, it
more
was at
than
the
ever.
end of King Lear last year, Herb. I don't know if you felt this as well, but like King Lear ended, and I just sat there for like 5 minutes at the end going, wow, just like thinking about that and thinking how proud I was to be part of this company. I believe strongly that I've been going since 2009, and King Lear is the best production I've seen from our company. It was amazing. Jeff knocked it out of the park as Lear, and that left me breathless. It really did.
Yeah.
So it's great to be a part of something like that.
Yeah.
That's something you can't get just watching TV, right? You can't get that just
No.
watching
No.
TV, and you can't get that even and not knock at Broadway, but you go to Broadway and you see a show. They're basically movies on stage.
Yeah.
With the rare exception, like Death of a Salesman's there now, and I just saw Death of a Salesman up at Hartford Stage, and it's a different experience when you go into that. But realistically, you're just going to entertainment as opposed to the full. I wrote something down that the consequences of the language that Shakespeare uses is so much different than the consequence of language that say, a more modern playwright might use. That's just trying to get onto trying to make a hit on a Broadway stage, right? You're not worried about making the hit on the stage. You want people to walk away feeling they've been absorbed into the story. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. So that passion that you guys are talking about, it's phenomenal. And if you love theater and you want to really learn the basics, you're doing it outside, doing it in front of a live audience, doing it where the elements are going to change every night. That's an experience I don't think most folks can ever really appreciate unless they're there every day with you guys.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Right. So let's give a shout out then, Bob, to anyone who's listening to this podcast right now, who has one of the three T's or all three T's, time, talent, and treasure. And I wrote that down because I love anything that's easy to remember. But it is the 35th anniversary for Capital Classics, and we've been joined today by Herb and by Edwin, and trying to convince even more people to be involved, not only in the board, but anything you might have, time, talent, or treasure. Anything we forgot to say? Otherwise, we're going to shoot to you guys telling us the website again.
Not that I can think of, Herb. Did you?
I don't think so. Yeah.
All right. Then marketing guy, throw us the contact info one more time.
Absolutely. So we are performing from July 8th through August 2nd. There'll be 20 performances, 10 of A Midsummer Night's Dream and 10 of Measure for Measure. Tickets are available now. You can go to capitalclassics.org and purchase tickets. It's a wonderful tradition, and it's magical, as Bob, as you said, to sit there and watch Shakespeare under the stars.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks to everyone for joining us and for being a part of this podcast today. Please remember to also support our sponsor, NBT Bank, which we did forget to say is also a sponsor of Capital Classics. So thank you, NBT, for that.
Thank you, NBT. Yeah.
Andreas or anybody else from there who's listening. And in the meantime, everyone, please be safe, be well, and we'll see you on the scene.
What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me in my dreams. And when life gets challenging, I need a bank that's focused on what matters. Not to mention one that's been top rated by Forbes in trust, customer service, financial advice, and more. That's why when it comes to meeting my banking needs, it's always NBT. Learn more at nbtbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.